Hey everyone, and welcome back to Hoffman Engineering. Today we are taking a look at the Creality CR-10 SE, an advanced high-speed 3D printer boasting 600mm per second print speeds, with a hardened steel nozzle, with a ceramic heater, automatic calibration, and runs Klipper with all the advanced features that firmware provides. But does this printer meet those high-speed claims? Let's find out. Before we begin, this CR-10 SE was provided for me to review by SainSmart, a leading retailer of CNC, 3D printing, scanning, and other maker-related tools and electronics. They aren't paying me for this review, and everything I say is my own honest opinion after using this printer for the last month. My videos do have affiliate links in the description, which you can use to help support my channel at no additional cost. Let's get into it. The CR-10 SE is the latest in the long line of Creality's CR series of printers. It is a filament-based 3D printer with a build volume of 220mm by 220mm by 265mm. It's a modest print volume, but print size isn't its main selling point. Speed is. This printer prints fast, at speeds up to 600mm per second. The sample 3D benchy included with the printer prints in 22 minutes at 0.25mm layer heights. This blew my mind the first time I saw it, as I normally expect benchies to take an hour and a half to 2 hours to print. But I was consistently printing with infill of 400mm per second and walls at 300mm per second, and the CR-10 SE was hardly sweating. Every feature of this printer is designed to support these print speeds. Starting with the hot end, the CR-10 SE has a cylindrical 60-watt ceramic heater that fully wraps around the volcano-style nozzle. This heats up quickly, from room temperature to 200 degrees Celsius in under 45 seconds, and the long melt zone allows the filament to completely melt even at extremely fast print speeds. The nozzle is a 0.4mm hardened steel nozzle, which allows printing of abrasive materials like glow-in-the-dark, metal-filled, or glass fiber filaments, and the hot end is rated up to 300 degrees Celsius, so you can use high-temperature materials like nylon or polycarbonate. To feed the filament at high speeds, you need a strong extruder. The CR-10 SE uses the Sprite extruder, a direct drive extruder with dual gears for 1.75mm filaments. It does an excellent job at gripping the filaments, and I never had any skipping or slipping even at the highest speeds. At the front of the hot end is a powerful 12,000 RPM cooling fan, which blows through a U-shaped duct that wraps completely around the nozzle. This provides effective cooling, which is necessary for high-speed printing. The fan is extremely loud when running at full speed, peaking at about 60 decibels. It is unpleasant to be in the same room while the printer is running. You would not want this in an office or a shared environment. Even at lower fan speeds like 10 or 20%, the fan is still very noticeable. The fan does a great job though, quickly cooling the print, providing clean overhangs, and preventing blobbing on very small layers. The hot end has both a CR Touch probe and a strain sensor. The CR Touch probe allows for auto bed leveling, and the strain sensor on the hot end automatically detects the Z offset for the nozzle. This means the nozzle is always the perfect distance from the bed, giving the perfect first layer every time. Both the X and Y axes use linear rails for smooth motion that should last a long time. I found the rails to be very sturdy, even at extremely fast print speed. There are no physical end stops on the CR-10 SE. The stepper drivers can detect when they bump against the end of the rails and use that for homing. Both axes are belt driven, with easy tension adjustments at the end. The X-axis attaches to the Z-axis using rubber V-slot wheels and is driven by dual Z-axis motors. The dual lead screws are connected by a belt at the top, which ensures both motors stay in sync. At the top of the printer, we find an LED light bar. This gives off plenty of lights, and I love the look of it. It can be turned off by a switch on the side if you prefer. Also at the top is the spool holder as well as the filament runout sensor. The sensor will detect when the filament is missing and automatically pause the prints. It then switches to the extrude and retract menu to let you change the filaments. You can then resume the print right where it left off. Moving down to the print bed, the CR-10 SE has a magnetic, flexible PEI build plate. It provides plenty of grip for all of my prints and gives a matte texture to the bottom layers of the prints. Flexing the bed makes the prints pop right off. The bed can be heated up to 110 degrees Celsius. To the right is the 4.3-inch full-color touchscreen. This is one of the best control panels that I've used on a printer. It is responsive to the touch, and all of the controls are intuitively laid out. If your slicer supports a thumbnail image in the G-code, it'll show a preview in the file menu. It also has a complete history tab showing print times. It makes it easy to connect to Wi-Fi and link to Creality Cloud, which I'll talk about more in a bit. The wireless connection also allows for easy and automatic firmware upgrades. On top of the control panel is a USB input for transferring print files. At the front of the printer is a large storage drawer with enough room for all of the tools that you could need. The base of the printer is a heavy cast aluminum frame. This provides a sturdy base that the Z-axis attaches to. I've had no issues with vibrations or parts loosening even at various print speeds. The printer is powered by a 32-bit dual-core CPU and uses silent stepper motor drivers. Even at high speeds, the motors are near silent and are completely drowned out by the loud print cooling fan. The printer uses the Creality OS firmware, which is Creality's customized version of the Klipper firmware. The firmware has advanced features enabled, such as input shaping. This is a technique to reduce vibrations by teaching the printer how much it would normally vibrate when the hot end or bed moves. This usually involves a long manual calibration process. However, the CR-10 SE will calibrate itself automatically. It has acceleration sensors built in, and during the initial setup process, it will run a vibration frequency sweep. By rapidly moving the hot end and bed at a range of different frequencies, it will learn how the axes respond and can control the motors to compensate for those vibrations. Without input shaping, you can see ringing, echo, or ghosting artifacts at the corners, as the printer continues to vibrate after changing directions. With input shaping enabled, those artifacts are completely removed. This means that prints with hard edges, like these low poly prints, turn out nice and smooth. The CR-10 SE also has power loss detection. When power is lost mid-print, when power is restored, the printer will ask if you would like to continue. It'll then heat back up, rehome the X and Y axes, and resume printing. The software is also a big selling point. You can use any slicer you want, generate G-code, and print from USB. But the CR-10 SE has another way to boost your productivity. By connecting the printer to Wi-Fi, you can connect the printer to Creality Cloud. This allows you to search and slice files directly online or via their app, send files wirelessly to the printer, and even start printing remotely. You can also use Creality's own slicer, called Creality Prints, available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Creality Prints has a slicer works well, with built-in profiles for almost every Creality printer. The profiles for the CR-10 SE worked great out of the box. I had to do very little tweaking to get it printing the way I wanted. Once you have your models all sliced, you can send the file to the printer wirelessly or upload it to Creality Cloud to print using the app. You can also monitor an entire print farm using Creality Prints, watching printer progress, starting and stopping prints, and even monitoring them with Creality's optional cameras. I was very impressed with the workflow, and found myself using the one-click printing feature of Creality Prints for almost every time I printed. I also love seeing the print history, but that didn't stop me from also importing those prints directly into 3dprintlog.com. Switching topics, the CR-10 SE was very easy to assemble. Screw on the Z-axis to the base, attach the light bar, connect the touchscreen, attach the spool holder, and plug in all the cables. I especially like how all the cables have special built-in connectors in the base. It gives a very clean look, keeps the cables nice and short and out of the way. Overall, the assembly took about 30 minutes. When you first power it on, it displays a privacy policy which you must accept before you can continue. It then walks you through connecting to Wi-Fi, signing into Creality Cloud, which you can do later, and runs through the self-test process. This will run the auto bed leveling, determine the Z offset for the nozzle height, and run through the input shaping calibrations. It takes about 10 minutes to do this initial calibration, and it does it all automatically. Once completed, you are ready to print. So let's talk about the prints. Overall, I am extremely happy with both the quality of the prints and the speed that they print. Let's start with the 3D Benchy G-code file included with the printer. This is a 20-minute Benchy. That's right, only 20 minutes. Most of the infill is 400mm per second, with walls at 200mm per second. I was very impressed by it. The bow is perfect, with no deformations at the very base when it starts the overhang. There is a little curling at the overhanging edge of the roof and the smokestack, but I would not be able to tell that this was a 20-minute Benchy versus a 2-hour Benchy. And speaking of Benchies, how about a 413% Benchy? The last time that I printed this large of a Benchy was in my Ender 7 review, which printed at 250mm per second at 0.3mm layer height, and it took 9 hours to print. I printed the same size and infill on the CR-10 SE, but printed at 400mm a second and at 0.2mm layer height, and it took just under 7 hours to print. And just look at the quality. Not only was it 2 hours faster to print, but it was also printing at a thinner layer height. There are way fewer defects on the bow, and just look at the difference that the input shaping and the pressure advance has on the text at the back. It's an incredible difference. These Captain America busts by Eastman were printed at 300mm per second, at 0.3mm and 0.1mm layer heights respectively. At 0.3mm, there was a bit of a problem with the initial overhang, but the extruder and hot end did a great job at melting the filaments at such a high flow rate. At 0.1mm layer heights, the overhang was perfect. Interestingly, I do see a bit of ringing on one side of the bust. The angle must be just right to where the input shaping isn't perfect. All the areas where I would normally expect ringing, like the sharp edges of the pillars, are non-existent though. Spiral vase mode works great. It had no issues keeping up with the constant Z-axis motion. I had to play around with the line width and the minimum layer cooling time settings to get the vase mode rocket to print. I had a couple of failures where the overhangs were just too much. The tip of the antenna is perfect though, and shows the power of the cooling fan. And here's a few more example prints, all printed around 300 millimeters per second. Layers are consistent, the edges are crisp, and I had a really good experience with the quality of the prints that I was getting. For as much praise as I gave Creality prints, I did run into a couple minor inconveniences during my testing. I'd sometimes get into a strange Wi-Fi connectivity issue, where it would sometimes get stuck in a disconnect-reconnect loop. It never stopped me from controlling the printer and didn't affect the prints, but it did make the temperature graphs look strange. I didn't run into any hardware issues with the printer, however. It was printing consistently from the moment I finished assembly. In conclusion, the CR-10 SE has fundamentally changed the way that I think about 3D printing. I used to be content with print speeds of 60 millimeters per second, and I thought 120 millimeters per second was just for travel speeds. But seeing the results that 300, 400, and even 600 millimeters per second can achieve has blown me away. The automatic calibration is very well done, completely removing bed leveling and Z-axis offset adjustments, and the input shaping calibration gives incredible results. The hardened steel nozzle and ceramic heater allows for printing almost any material you can think of. The Wi-Fi connectivity and Creality Cloud app opens the door to easy slicing and print monitoring. And even the appearance of the CR-10 SE is stylish, with the angled coverings nicely illuminated by the included light bar. You'll want to enjoy that appearance from another room, however, with the extremely loud print cooling fan being the only negative that I can find. I think the best thing about the Creality CR-10 SE is that all of this is available for less than $500 US. The retail price is $459 US, with sales prices as low as $386 US. Even at full price, this is an absolutely amazing price for the number of features packed into the CR-10 SE. If you have a suitable location for this loud printer, such as a separate room or enclosure, then I highly recommend this printer for almost anyone. Beginners will find the automatic calibration very helpful, and even long-time enthusiasts like myself might get a new understanding of print speed. Great job, Creality, I am impressed. So thank you all for watching my review of the CR-10 SE. What was your favorite feature about the CR-10 SE? Let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if there's something that you think this printer is missing. And if you're still in the market for a new 3D printer, why not check out my review of one of Creality's most entry-level printers, the Ender 2 Pro. That printer is still going strong after a couple of years. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.